Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling is Her. I'm your host, Raja, and I'm joined by my Supreme co-host, John.
Supreme!
And we are here to talk about an absolutely jam-packed Korakuen Hall show.
Yeah, like literally jam-packed.
Boy howdy, Stardom Supreme Fight in
They were
Korakuen Hall.
jam-packed. Dave Meltzer would have said 1,800, I think. Yeah, no, it was a lot of people, man, and it was actually not just standing room only. It was an overflow crowd.
Yeah, it was. They had to like squish more people in there because everyone wanted to be here this night to see all these fabulous matches.
They did, and what I love is you get to see all the people talking about what a wonderful thing it's been with Okada-san coming in, and
yes,
all the new this wave of popularity and sold out shows, and
it's been so fun.
Yeah, it has been incredible.
The storytelling has just been completely insane, like the past few months in general, but mostly the last year. It's just been ramping up.
They can do no wrong, and damn you, Meerkat, because I can't get you out of my head. Right now, I was going to talk about Saya Kamatani.
Oh, but you can't.
And I couldn't without hearing Meerkat in my head. So,
oh, he's been uploading a lot lately.
Yes.
Just like banger after banger.
yes.
We just watched Stardom and now we're like, oh no.
Yeah.
There's Meerkat. He's in my brain.
And I'm going to do my best not to talk about gremlins or goblins or anything else. So
we'll do our very best.
listen, if you're listening to this show, you know what we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
If you don't, then you know what? I'll give a free shout out to somebody. Go out of your way to go to YouTube and
Yes.
just go down that Meerkat hole.
Search for Meerkat Ultra.
Yeah.
You'll know him by the Joshi content.
Yes.
It's very obvious who
S
we're talking
tier?
about. Yes,
All
the
right.
ultimate tier list and everything in between. But before we jump into Stardom, I just wanted to give a big shout out to a former Stardom star who has officially signed her AEW contract.
Give it up for her, the Megasis herself.
Oh, Megan Bain. She was on Collision, and even that small little sample of a match was just a reminder of how good she is, and like those little flashes of what we remember from Stardom.
Just think, we got to see the Megasis twice in one weekend. We get to see her make her Collision debut, and just destroy some poor girl.
Hyena Hera, I think her name was.
And then we also got to see her in the much, lauded video of Joey Janela being attacked
oh no,
at a meet and greet.
that was insane. Okay, people are crazy.
People are crazy. And let me put the open challenge out right now, by the way. I would love to fight that guy. Not Joey.
Not Joey.
Not Joey. Joey's good people.
Joey was in the right here.
If it wasn't for Joey, I wouldn't have that hidden gem of a promo on a GCW broadcast that you can find if you go through their entire library and you watch a halftime and you got old Manser in the stands agging me on through the whole thing.
Right.
Going, that ain't a promo. You got her.
Oh, it's always good fun.
It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, I think Joey handled it. All I could think about was he'll get the help he needs when all the guys stomping on him.
Didn't you tell me that he tweeted something about that
Yeah,
Megan
he's
thought
like,
it was...
Megan just standing there thinking, is this another Joey Janela fucking
Why wouldn't you
work?
think that? Can you
Knowing him?
imagine what she's put through
Yeah, I can't imagine.
on a daily basis?
No, I would probably not believe it either if I was her. I'd be like,
Hey,
okay.
I'm going to give Joey props because if you watch the end of that fight, he had a head and arm on him.
Yeah.
He really did. By the time that was over, he had a head and arm. And another friend of mine in that whole melee, Mr. Max Recon there, the referee, goes back.
He was right on it.
Goes back to I met him first in a Knoxville show we did, and at D1 in Knoxville. And there was so many people. You were there that night. Mm-hmm. There was so many people on that show, that specific show, that it was packed. There was
always a lot of people there.
Like I know, like Anthony Henry and them were on there.
Oh yeah,
and
that was fun workhorseman match.
There was a ton of people. Like I would almost like to go back now and see. There was a ton of people, a ton of talent on there. But I remember me and my group, we were changing in this one room because there was a lot of dressing rooms, and we were in this one room, and we were doing like we always do. Like we had our circle of us,
right.
the circle of JHP, and this ref was in there, and he was very, like, how you doing? And a lot of time, listen, I don't care if you introduce with your working name. I really don't care. It was a huge drama thing for me when I first started, because I was like, do I use my working name or do it? So honestly, with me, it was the same as long as I said my first name.
Right. You just say your first name and you're all good to go.
Because my name was John, and whether I was working or not. But he shook my hand. He's like, Max Recon. And I was like, you're putting me on. He's like, looking at me, and a wonderfully nice guy. I was really happy to see that guy have him. And he's like their main ref now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's like in there all the time.
Yeah. But he got in there. Good for him. Got in there really quick. And
he did. He was right on it as soon as shit started going down, and it went down. It was crazy. People need to calm down a little bit, I think. Especially at meet and greets. One of the comments I saw was like, why did bro wait in line to throw hands at Joey Janela? He's like waiting in the line of fans.
Hey, as a true wrestler, I can hear Boogie right now. Handsome Jimmy Valiant would have been like charging, been like, okay, you can hit me, brother, but just that's
it's gonna cost you $20.
It'd be $5 for a 8x10. It'll be $20 for a Polaroid. And just you go ahead and hit. You can hit Handsome Jimmy. Go ahead, baby.
As long as you buy something,
that's
it's
right,
fine.
Daddy. That's right.
Very wrestling mentality.
You can come up to the camp on Sunday. Once you come up to the camp, you just hang out. You want to buy a video? It's a video I put together myself.
Oh my goodness.
Listen,
I love wrestlers.
For those who know, they know. There's nothing better than an old carny.
Yeah.
There's old carny guys that I learned from. I love it. And there's there's Japan carny women. I like to think that you can go and it's just you get hustled, right?
Yeah.
Aja Kong. Well, I mean, we've seen the table with Aja Kong and them. You got hustled on a picture.
I didn't get hustled. I just didn't understand what it was.
You got played.
It was Aja and Kyoko. They wouldn't play me.
Yeah, you got hustled. They're laughing about it. They're like, ha, 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 ha.
They were very nice.
Yeah, you thought you were getting 2 and you got 1. Sorry. All right.
But yeah, this weekend, Saturday in particular, was jam-packed with Stardom and Collision, and I think that's everything that happened on Saturday night. That's all the wrestling that happened, right?
Yeah, that was definitely all the wrestling that happened. So we watched the Royal Rumble.
Of course we watched the Royal Rumble.
And,
it was good fun. In its own way. Hey, Alexa Bliss is back.
So here's the thing. I thought the Women's Rumble, once again, was much better than the Men's Rumble.
I really enjoyed the Women's Rumble.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Women's Rumble. The winner of the Women's Rumble, I don't have a problem with. Because...
It's like the expected answer, though, right?
I guess so, but at the same time, people might knock it or whatever, but who are you going to put over?
Yeah, that's true. It's fair.
I mean, even if a lot of the matches we've seen already, we haven't seen the Charlotte match in a while.
No, not a good while.
And honestly, there's a lot of interesting Charlotte matchups. Either way, either title, you're either going to get a rematch that is always a banger.
Yeah.
And that's the best women's match of all time, which it was not.
No, but it was good.
It probably wasn't the best women's match that week. But regardless, in WWE world, Charlotte versus Rhea is a damn good match.
Yeah, they always deliver.
If we go on the other side and put Tiffy versus Charlotte,
that's just interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Something new.
Because it's not. It's new and it's exciting, and Charlotte will be definitely booed on either way.
Yeah.
So she's going to be the heel no matter what their plan was.
Absolutely.
And so it's really interesting. Plus, we still got Becky coming back, and it was surprising to me that Becky wasn't there.
I was expecting her.
I was too. I don't know what what it looks like, but I would imagine that she's got to be back soon, right?
She's just waiting in the wings.
So I mean, they've got a lot of people, and obviously we got to see the NXT call-ups.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez, man.
Yeah,
she broke the Iron Woman record.
Well, she's always been good.
Second to last in the Rumble.
I mean, Roxanne Perez has always been good. She's she's a savant. She's got a big career ahead of her.
A prodigy, you might say.
She might say that. Julia did really well.
She did.
Considering, what she's up against.
Yeah, she looked great in there. Stephanie
just has a presence.
Yeah, and you had Jordan Grace coming out there and slamming Piper Niven.
Yeah, Jordan Grace, who, shame, Jordan, telling everybody you were going to be in Texas all weekend. And did you know
to swerve everyone.
She went as far as showing her plane tickets to where she was staying there for her mom's 50th birthday.
Oh, it was smart, right?
And she's
you
like,
can hardly ever work people.
She's like, sorry, y'all. I'm in Texas all weekend. Love you, though. And
that almost makes it more obvious to some people. They're like, nah.
But she did put the plane tickets on.
That's true. Like, she's got plane tickets.
I do appreciate that. I appreciate that. And so, I thought it was good, man. I really did. People always get their... You made a good point the other night. So for our Patreon, and we haven't recorded this yet, but
we're prepared to record.
But we're doing a deal with. It was Raj's first time watching the '92 Rumble.
It's my first impression series where I watch things I've never seen before.
Yeah, so it's amazing things she's never seen before. So '92 Rumble, we watched it in its entirety, not just the Rumble match, the entire show, and which I'm really glad about.
Me too.
There's some really good shit on there. But we watched the '92 Rumble, and Raja made a point during watching it, and I made a point. I was like, I really like the fact they don't play the theme music.
It really helped it flow a lot better. It didn't take away from the match at all because there was no, every 2 minutes it wasn't a big loud theme song and looking at the ramp.
Yeah, they just ran out.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. And there was some other stuff story-wise. We noticed that the story, and of course that, God bless his soul, Pat Patterson was still alive. So, the Royal Rumble's Pat Patterson's baby. It's because Pat came up through San Francisco, and in San Francisco, the big deal every year was the yearly Battle Royal.
Right.
So people would buy their tickets almost a year out.
That's crazy.
To be there for the big Battle Royal in San Francisco. Just a huge deal.
Right.
And it was a who's who. They would always bring Andre in, and you would have the biggest stars in wrestling would be there for that Battle Royal.
Makes sense why people want to be there.
Just an amazing spectacle. It was really hot, for that. So he remembered that and came up with that Royal Rumble idea. And thank God he did.
It's now one of the biggest shows of the year.
Yeah, they tried it on a house show. It went really well. And then they had the first one on free TV with Hacksaw Duggan and everything on USA Network. It was a free special one night, which they never did back then. And then they did it pay-per-view the next year. So by '92, they'd had quite a few, 4 or 5 under their belt.
They had practicing.
And, again, you had Pat Patterson working it. This needs to happen here, this needs to happen here, this needs to happen here. And it seemed like they did it a little bit better where not everybody was just laying around.
Yeah, it was a lot more action going on.
Some of my big complaints modern day in anything like that is you have the 10 guys laying there.
Yeah, in the corners, all just knocked out or whatever.
While the one spot's happening.
Yeah.
And then that spot's done. Let's do another spot.
Just get up and throw a forearm, try to shove someone over,
And one of the big things you noticed was the story thing, obviously, and how the stories were laid out throughout.
There was a lot of really interesting stories.
I noticed you pointed out Jake, was scared of Macho Man. And he kept looking back through the whole thing.
Every time the countdown came on, he would stop what he was doing and look at the entrance he's coming out eventually. I just don't know when.
And you also picked up on the fact that
Jake went out, he got eliminated, and Macho Man eliminated himself to jump on Jake because he hates him that much.
Yeah.
But it clearly wasn't an elimination. They were well, I guess you have to be propelled out by another opponent for it to count as an elimination because they were throwing him back in the ring. They were get back in there.
There's so many of those things. Even if you go to the other night, the latest Rumble, we saw Penta eliminate his ass.
By accident.
Yeah, and they just kind of breeze over it.
It just kind of says that didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. And there's been a lot of that throughout the Rumble, but the Rumble's just good fun, right?
It is. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
The biggest thing that Raja noticed, though, and I have to really give this to you, because it really dawned on me when you said it, was people were not let down because everybody that was in the Rumble was announced by Vince McMahon at the first of the show.
That's very true. There's 30 guys. We knew all 30 of them.
Yeah, and
at the start.
We had to wait for it. I mean, we had to get Vince going. The Undertaker, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan,
all 30,
and got through it all. And
you didn't know when they were going to go in,
right?
But you knew everyone.
You knew everybody, and Raj was like, you know what? What's great about this is nobody's let down from the lack of surprise.
Right. I think there's been a lot of build up to the Rumble in recent years where it's everyone's expecting the most incredible surprise ever at the Rumble.
And it's always going to be a letdown.
Yeah, and it's hard to deliver on some expectations like that. So I kind of like just knowing who's going to be in it.
Yeah, you're so right. You're dead on with that, because every year, me included, everybody gets the speculation going, and the Rumble's one of those weird things in the world it's almost like Christmas, right?
Right.
It's so much more fun building up to it, and the anticipation than the actual event.
Yeah, and then you have the prize of getting the main event at WrestleMania, and it's like most of the time those surprises are not gonna win the match.
Yeah, like we're sitting there the other night and we were begging for no old timers.
Yes,
we're like, look, we have squeezed these old timers to death.
Yes, we
don't need anybody else. We don't need anybody coming out.
Yeah.
For the love of God, unless you're bringing out like Repo Man and freaking, unless you're bringing out actual Skinner. It's
oh man,
that would be fine with me. One just really crazy mentor,
just some crazy person.
Yeah, just bringing in.
No one's expecting
some of those, but it was good fun. Like I said, the women's Rumble was so much better, in my opinion, in our opinion, and we are biased to that. Yes,
we do love women's wrestling. More.
Absolutely. And on the other network, we got to see some talents of Harley.
Oh, Harley Cameron getting her first win.
Yes. Way to go, Harley.
Oh.
And getting to debut the Mercedes Muppet.
Her ventriloquy is really good.
Ventriloquy? Is that how you say? Is that proper say?
I think so. She keeps surprising me. Yeah. I'm like, she's so talented already, and she debuts something else, and I'm like, what?
Doesn't she make you sick?
How do you keep doing all these things?
She's just so damn talented and so beautiful.
She is. She's like, what? How? How do you have time to learn all this stuff?
I honestly love her singing voice. It's amazing.
Me too. I love her singing voice. I'm impressed by her ventriloquist skills.
Do you know, I figured something out, and this was from us watching a gamer video thing where they just make fun of games.
Yeah.
I forget, and I really wish I remembered the name of the channel, because
it's a lot of words.
It's like a lot
Viva
of words.
La something.
Viva La something. That's what it was.
There's a million of views.
So there's an Australian girl on there, and I figured something out when I was watching that. I think I've really got a thing for Australian women.
Is that it? It's the Australian accent.
I never knew it because I made fun of Australia for years.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing for me. It's to the point that on another podcast, I used to get regular mail from Aussies.
From Aussies.
Yeah.
You didn't make fun of Aussies, though. You made fun of Australia as a dangerous, scary country.
Yeah, as everything will kill you there.
Yeah.
And I used to get these letters, and I was making fun of, like, people had snake pits as like as an actual thing, right? And this one guy gets a hold of me, and he's like, I've got a snake pit in your backyard, and
you kind of have to, don't you, to catch the snake?
Yeah, he wasn't joking. He was totally serious.
If anything, you're lauding the people of Australia for being so brave to live through this.
How do they survive? They're tough, right?
Right.
I mean, how are you not tough when the mosquitoes have like horns and everything down there is just insane.
It is. And
crazy.
I can see your track record with the Australian girls. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I never picked up on it
until that moment.
Yeah.
You were seeing that one and you were like, oh,
well, come on. There's something about a nerd. There's just,
the nerdy thing.
You and I both have that. It's just something about a nerd that somebody's just like, oh, hey. And a pretty nerd.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Someone who's super into video games or wrestling or ventriloquism.
But there's just so many super talented Australian girls, and some of which I wish we could still see, like the Iconics.
Yeah. Indy Hartwell.
Yeah. But, anyway.
But yeah. Australia is very talented. They pick up talents very easily, it seems. Harley definitely does.
So we're going to get, it looks like, for the big Grand Slam in Australia.
I can't believe it's happening.
Looks like we're going to get Mercedes Moné versus Harley. Cameron, it's not official yet.
No, but
it's wrestling.
Muppet Monet said it was official.
Muppet Moné said it.
and I believe her. I trust her.
I believe her too. Obviously, we're going to get one of the greatest, most anticipated matches, the rematch.
Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Her promo on Collision, she's just, I say it every time, but Timeless Toni Storm is just the best at what she does.
she is absolutely.
She makes my heart so happy.
Absolutely incredible.
Just such so talented, good things happening in women's wrestling all over the place.
Looking forward to it immensely.
Me too.
And anything else they add on the show. It's so weird. It's not it's just so weird. It's not a pay-per-view.
It is weird. I for the last couple months thought it was a pay-per-view. And I don't know why.
Well, I think it may have been originally.
Like when they first announced it, I was like, oh, cool.
When it was still in the original location. And
fair.
And they didn't really realize the Australian stuff and,
It'll still be good, I think. They're clearly going to put every Australian on it. They've got Buddy working up to the Continental
and I'm
title
so excited
match.
about that. And it's going to be great, actually, because it's AEW and they don't let you down on big shows.
It's going to be 2 full hours of craziness.
And it's funny because right now, in the UK, Tony Khan was putting out there how well their ratings, they're really picking up steam.
Yeah.
So you would think that it would translate, somewhat to the prisoner colony down there in Australia.
Those same people.
Yeah, they follow whatever the UK does, right?
Yes, of course they do.
You guys let me know if you listen down there, and it's.
I'm really excited though.
I am too.
I'm just happy about everything that's happening. I'm happy about Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan. I'm happy about
Alexa Bliss making the comeback.
Everything that's going on in women's wrestling.
Alexa Bliss looking great.
She did look amazing. She came out with the doll, and she had the Fiends Forever jacket, and she just looked amazing.
I'm so
glad she was there.
I'm excited about Alexa coming back, and it's been long enough that hopefully people aren't. They'll still be judgy.
Yes, of course they'll be judgy.
Honestly, I thought Nia Jax looked really good.
She did. She looked great.
I think Nia Jax gets so much unnecessary heat.
Of course she does. She's a big girl.
But
she's great though at what she does. She's perfected it.
She is so incredible at being hated.
Yeah.
And she knows it.
That's a talent in and of itself.
It really is. It really is.
But I feel like they might be maybe Elimination Chamber. We might get Nia Jax and trying to get back at Tiffany for her title. So right. I think maybe Charlotte might go after Rhea, but only time will tell.
We shall see. Now, was there anything else happen this weekend that we should maybe talk about that was, spectacular and sold out?
Yeah, I think there is one thing that we need to talk about.
Just one thing. It's a little supreme.
That would be Stardom Supreme Fight.
Stardom Supreme Fight.
In Korakuen Hall in front of 1,614 fans.
Or 1,800.
Or 1,800 if you're on the Meltzer level.
Yes.
But my God, it looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
When it opened and everyone's already in their seats for the zero match, it just looked amazing.
Oh, it looked great.
It was such a good feeling.
People up on this on that walkway.
Yeah, up in the balconies and stuff. It was crazy.
It really was. I love it.
I know a lot of it's attributed to the main event, to Saya Kamitani versus Suzuki.
I think it's the brand.
Yeah, I think Stardom's just so hot right now.
Because there wasn't, honest to God, this was not a banger of a show on paper.
Right. It wasn't filled with crazy dream matches or anything.
It wasn't first blood match, last blood match.
But it was
blood type match.
An incredible show.
It was.
Full of the same story that has why we've gotten to this point and why they had a record attendance in December and they had a record attendance in January. I think they've just really honed in on the pulse of the fans and they're just running with it.
Well, they've got one of the rosters right now that is one of those rosters that is just absolutely legendary from bottom to top. Even the rookies coming in, everybody has somebody they can love.
Yeah.
Everybody has several people you can be behind. And there's not any stinkers.
No.
You're not
There's no one that comes on and you're like, this one. Gotta watch this match.
You would be hard pressed to make a Twitter hate feed of videos of botches from Stardom because there may be a show.
Maybe.
And, that's
If
normally
you're lucky.
It's normally covered up.
Yeah, they usually cover really well.
The position of next level that these ladies are at is just...
It's beautiful.
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
It's a beautiful thing to witness.
It's kind of like, and it's so much different. We talk about All Japan a lot, All Japan women, and we did recently watch some.
We watched some more. We just turn on a random show.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And just start watching the matches.
Dude, we almost have to talk about that before we get into Stardom. It was so cool. It was the most rando of shows.
Yeah, absolutely random
that you could possibly do, but. Jesus Christ, they beat the crap out of each other.
They do.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. We talk about the Manami Toyota just kind of throwing herself all over the place.
This particular show we watched was Manami Suzuka's retirement.
Yes.
And the main event had LCO in Mima Shimoda and Etsuka Mita against Manami and...
Yes.
Who was her partner? Was it Hota?
Yes.
Yumika Hota?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then after that, Akira Kuto just comes out and is like, hey, we're going to have another match real quick. And they gave him like 3 minutes to have another match.
And it seemed like it was totally on a shoot that she didn't know, that Manami didn't know it was happening.
Oh, yeah, she was so emotional.
And the cool thing, and one of the things, I always love it, like you always love it when somebody is kind of like in their street clothes or something like that. Bull coming out with her hair down.
Oh, she looks so cool.
And
I love Bull Nakano.
In that time period, because we were just watching the show from the night after.
Yeah.
And that's what I had playing a while ago.
Yeah.
But Bull was all made up as Bull,
Yeah,
but
when she's got a match.
The night before, just coming out with her hair down and
she's just here to say hello.
Yeah, it was just such a damn good show. Like everything on it, as always. And you remember when you watch, it's different than watching Stardom now. Stardom now is just so polished.
Yeah.
But it's still got the violence. It's still got those...
You see little flashes of it.
You do.
It comes back in. Like Yumika Hota getting in the ring and beaming someone in the back is like very reminiscent of what you would see Momo Watanabe do in these days.
Yeah, and I love the fact of the meshing of so many styles. You see in modern day Stardom, you see some old World of Sport type stuff.
Yeah,
you see like the Western style. You see a lot of the old, a lot of the All Japan women type.
Yeah, you can tell they're very influenced.
The style, a lot of Lucha Libre has made its way in, and actually an exorbitant amount of Lucha Libre.
There's something for everyone is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, and a lot of Shudos type style.
Oh, yeah.
In there. So
especially recently, they've really been getting more into that with the God's Eye and everything.
And it's really made it, I think, to this juggernaut that it's becoming. I'm telling you, and I said this a few weeks ago, I think this roster has the potential of running the damn dome.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we could have another big egg, maybe not 10 hours long, maybe cut the boxing matches and the amateur wrestling.
You're no fun at all.
Really? You want those matches on your wrestling show?
I want the men of diminutive size.
You want the one comedy men's match?
I want everything.
Oh man.
I want everything in there.
I'll allow a legit fight if it's legit wrestling, like Shiri.
So I would like to have some UWF style.
Yes, UWF I'll allow.
I wouldn't mind to have just like some amateur women wrestlers like on the halftime. Mm-hmm. As long as we were doing it like, hey, you can go eat right now if you want to.
Right. This is the intermission technically.
We're going to put some really top level amateur women that we're, recruiting or something.
Yeah.
Out there. I think that shit's cool. And like somebody from the judo place, just some top level, just celebration of women.
Absolutely, like from all over.
Yeah. And no men's matches.
No men's matches, please.
Please.
We don't need that.
They have enough. They don't need any more.
I feel like they could go a good 6 hours.
I think definitely if you do the dome, you do a Sunday after, like at 1 o'clock or something.
Right, matinee,
but 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
But just have, definitely bring in some big matches.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining the Big Egg Wrestling Universe intro, but the flags are all like Stardom, Sendai Girls, Tokyo Joshi, Marigold,
right.
If they're there. I don't know if they would be.
Right.
But even AW and everyone else, bring them all at CMLL, bring them all in.
it would be freaking amazing, like a big battle royal on the pre-show and just the whole 9 yards. I think that, honest to God, if you build up the right match, and it would have to be the right match.
Yeah.
But you build it up, man. You build up this big, once in a lifetime match.
Yeah.
It would do it. And they've got the talent to do it.
I don't think we would need a tournament like they did with the original Big Egg Wrestling Universe. I think you just have those top couple of really anticipated big matches that you build for a freaking year or whatever.
Yeah, like Mayu Iwatani versus
someone of equal caliber.
Honestly, at that point, you could have like a Saya. You could have Saya and Mayu.
Yeah.
And, or like finally have like a Starlight Kid versus Mayu Iwatani. Like,
that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
That's the place.
Yeah.
We figured it out. That's where we have to do.
Yeah.
Starlight finally beats Mayu Iwatani.
Yeah, that at least should be the semi, right?
Yeah, at least.
That would be kind of cool for a semi, and then have like a different match. I don't know. There's so many things you could do. It's like I want to make the dream card right now. But
what if it was possible to do like Tam Julia one more time?
Well, I think the Julia train would be gone on this.
I think the Julia train. Yeah, I don't know if they would allow it.
Yeah, so
they were at the original Big Egg Universe with Alundra Blaze, but
yes, they were
vaguely. They were vaguely there.
They were, but I just think that if the problem is we have a partnership with somebody they would not work with.
Exactly.
So,
and we have so many good people in Japan, and AEW and ZML has so many talented girls. Like, we don't even need the inclusion.
Kind of want to make. I kind of want to make them sick that this
it's
is
like, why are we not a part of this? What are we doing here?
Right. But I honestly, I think
maybe it would open some doors.
I think it's time. I think that a year from now, in the spring, of 2026. They should think about it. They should just book it, so they have to do it.
Do you name it after the original?
You absolutely do.
I feel like you have to.
You absolutely do. You have to. And
you don't just make it an All-Star Grand Queendom or whatever.
It could also be like a Hall of Fame thing. Ooh. Like, make a weekend of it.
Yeah. I know the original, they did bring in some of the older stars. Like, we just have a bunch of the legends.
Well, that'd be
hanging out.
Amazing to have a good legend match on there.
Listen to me. If they do this, we're going to Japan.
Oh.
Okay? There's no question.
Listen, here's the deal. If they do this, we are going to Japan and we will have some kind of event.
We're not missing the Big Egg Wrestling Universe in our lifetime.
No, it will happen. If we have to take a canoe.
If we have to take like 5 boats to get there, it's happening.
It is going to happen. If they have the come on, fist pump right now.
Yes. One day, Wrestling is Her will be in Japan.
Yes.
And you'll be hearing us live from Japan.
I still think they need English commentary. That's always there. Just pay us enough to live
in English commentary that just exists
we just
there.
Need a nice little flat. All right.
Okay, why don't we get into Stardom Supreme Fight.
Sounds like a good plan.
Because it was an incredible show.
It was.
From start to finish. And it flew by just completely. It was so fast how it happened.
Yeah.
But the zero match for this show was a singles match between Yuria Hime and Akira Kuragane, our 2 new young lions in Stardom. And it was only a 5-minute match, but it was a proper wrestling match. It wasn't public sparring this time. And I just want to say, Yuria looked a lot more confident.
She did.
In this match than in her debut.
Yeah, she looked a lot better.
She probably felt better wrestling Akira, who she's no doubt wrestled countless times in the dojo.
Yeah, she did. And Akira's looking more and more like the dangerous damn queen.
She looks so good. She's just confident.
She just gives me Akira vibes of Akira.
Like, she's gonna take over.
Yeah.
And she's gonna run a faction one day.
Oh,
I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
She's got the facials. She just has that resting wrestler face.
She does. Her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
Everything about her, it just screams superstar.
We're already there.
But this match did end in a time limit draw. It's not much you can do in 5 minutes, unfortunately. So they got all their stuff in. We got to see Akira's snap suplex into the bridge, which just looks so devastating already.
You're going to go, or I'm going to break your neck.
Yes, and it ended with the bell ringing. So good job to both of these girls getting some more reps in. I'm excited to see them hit the ground running with some multi-mans and just start getting in the fray, you know?
Every Fed right now in Japan has some of the most amazing young talent.
Oh, man, we saw a debut at Pro Wrestling Evolution recently, Chica, she looked incredible.
I mean, it's just...
They just come out of the gate swinging.
It's just all over the place. And it's amazing.
Makes you excited and confident in the future of Joshi.
Absolutely.
The first official match of the night was a 8-man match. Azusa Inaba, Rina, Tekla, and Momo Watanabe versus Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika. And the big story in this match is Maika trying to convince Tekla to come back to the light side. And we saw this, of course, in Tekla's run with Natsupoi for the Wonder of Stardom title, where Natsupoi thought maybe she could convince Tekla to stop being crazy for like 5 minutes.
Right.
But the difference here is that Maika never betrayed Tekla's trust. She never left DDM, and like Tekla wasn't left crying over her, like what happened with Natsupoi.
Yeah.
Maika was always there. They ended DDM together, the two of them. They were there when it all went down. So maybe she has the ability to trust Maika a little more.
I mean, obviously she does. And, you know, Maika, like you said, they don't have the bad history. It's kind of out of left field a little bit. I think maybe she saw somewhat of an end with Tekla.
Maybe.
You know, some of those emotions that Tekla's shown. You know, that wasn't the only time when Tekla, you know, recently had a match with Athena.
Yeah.
She also showed a little bit more of humility.
There's like flashes in there that's like, maybe she could still be a good person if we just get her away from hate. I think that's the thinking on this.
I still think there's good in Vader.
Yes, there is still good somewhere in there, but Tekla very much did not seem to feel the same way in this match. She was all over Maika. She did not want anything to do with it.
Balance the sides soon, because I think that hate will have a new member before long.
Rina judo throwing Hanako was probably one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in a ring.
It looks so badass.
Hanako being as tall as she is, and Rina she went so fast through that throw. It was so cool.
Oh man, I love it. I love the matchup of Rina and Hanako.
Me too.
It's
a classic matchup.
It is a classic matchup.
Near the end of this match, Maika accidentally took the ref out, which allowed Momo to use the bat, and then they both kicked Maika in the head, Momo and Tekla was able to use her Poison Spider Death Drop to get the pin. So Hate did win this match.
I was just glad to see Momo not mess up with the bat.
Yeah. So. They did accidentally kick each other's legs earlier in the match, but it didn't lead to anything devastating.
Right.
And Hate still won.
Right.
But yes, there were no Momo mess ups and
so Momo
mishaps.
Didn't hurt her own people this time.
After the match, Tekla held Maika down and made her watch as Rina gave Mina the Gory special on a chair. So that was a little intense.
It was. It was.
I don't know. There's like this EXV hate thing brewing now, I think.
There's a lot going on.
Very intense things going on, but it was a good
Early
match.
days of it.
Early days. The second match was a tag match where Lady C and Hina took on Rion and Mei Seira.
Yeah.
Interesting team.
Very interesting.
We know Rion from the jump has said she wants to be a high-speed wrestler, so who better to team with than the high-speed champion?
And I think this might have had something to do with Matoi being hurt.
Yes, Matoi was absent from this card because of injury.
Yeah, was it going to be Matoi and Meisera?
I honestly don't know. I don't remember what the match was supposed to be beforehand. Right. But this is the match we got. It was a good match. Lady C came in with the 20 giant swing, which we don't get to see that often, but I guess she was like, it's sold out. We're going for broke.
Yeah, Lady C has become just vicious, man.
She has. She's become really on another level of violent, being with God's eye.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see it. And anytime we get to see a jackhammer is always good.
Yes, Hina did win the match for her and Lady C with the jackhammer. So good for them, racking up some wins for God's eye.
Yes.
Following that, we finally got the match that we'd been waiting for. I love it so much. The Kuma contra Kuma match. Koguma versus Rana Yagami. 1-on-1. And the stipulation being, of course, that if Koguma won, Rana would do the bear dance. And if Rana won, Koguma would have to stop asking her to do the bear dance.
It was unbelievable, as we talked about on the last couple of episodes. It was unbelievable that this jokey house show
story,
angle became a full-fledged story.
Yes.
But it's so lovely.
Yep. And they just did such a good job in this match of marrying Koguma's excellent comedy with the seriousness of the wrestling, and also Shiri on the outside having an absolute fit the entire match.
And the people absolutely loved it. The crowd was hot as hell for this. Rana again was wearing the Shiri gear.
She was. Oh, it looks so good. It just suits, that style of gear just suits her really well.
There's something different. I think when she puts it on, she almost becomes mystical.
She's like imbued with the spirit of Shiri.
She really is. It's like the fighting spirit itself.
I would love to see a version of that gear in her original yellow and purple color scheme.
Right.
I think that would look really cool.
Yeah, I want to see that gear though on her and not just be a special thing.
Yeah, keep that as your like actual main gear style, I think, because it looks great.
But I'm with you. A little yellow, purple.
I loved her original color scheme. It's very Rana.
But I do like the red too.
This match was so good, okay? Between Rana's incredibly accurate kicks that just landed every single time, and her stomping on Koguma's hands to try to keep her from being a bear.
Hey man, yeah,
and then
works.
Rana reversed the first camel clutch that Koguma tried to put her in. Unfortunately, she got stuck in a second one, and Koguma put the bear ears on her, which just saw Shiri screaming at the top of her lungs from the outside of the ring, just absolutely incensed by Koguma's shenanigans. But Kuma did pull out her spinning choke, which was very difficult for Rana to get out of afterwards. She had that choke on. I thought it was over with this move. But Rana, she tried her best. She did everything she could to prevail. She almost got the beat strike. I think that's what it's called. Her kick, her finishing move. Unfortunately, Koguma used a body splash that was like half the length of the ring.
At least half.
It was insane how long this body splash was.
So a little inside baseball for wrestling for those of you who have not partook in the wrestle. The further out you are from someone coming off the top rope, the more it hurts. If you're right underneath, they can control that pretty well.
Right.
The further out you are,
they just got to throw themselves.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's no stopping.
It hurts so much worse.
It was so long. She was almost in the middle of the ring, I swear.
It's we used to talk about skid marks on certain splashes.
Yeah.
That was a skid mark splash.
So Koguma won the match. With this body splash, she got the pin, and we did discuss how it was probably the better story to have Rana do the bear dance.
Yeah, it was. And Rana did the honorable thing.
She did.
She is Japanese.
She didn't just do the bear dance. She told Koguma she wanted to do the best, biggest bear dance ever in front of this packed crowd at Korakuen Hall. So they got up, they did it, and she was all in. She did it perfectly. Like she was born to.
Kuma, 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 Kuma.
Kaze Kuma.
All right.
Oh shit! And her face, the smile on her face. I think she enjoyed herself.
Yeah, I think so too.
Unfortunately, after that, she at this point, Shiri's on the floor. Outside. Yes. She's
totally crying. It looked like
down.
It looked like she had just seen her best friend fall on their own sword.
Yeah, essentially.
It was amazing.
And then Kuma's like, Shiri, you know your time is coming. And Shiri runs out screaming just to the back. She's just leaving. And Rana did say that was the last bear dance she's ever going to do. And it's the last time she'll do the bear dance and the last time she'll ever lose to Koguma. So love the confidence.
I believe both.
It was so much fun though. And so it was worth the wait. I was so happy.
I love seeing Rana being, listen, you talked about the red gear. Mm-hmm. It's weird in the Japanese, in the Joshi culture. The red gear seems like top girl gear.
It does. Like, if you wear the red, you're top of the crowd.
Think about all the red queens out there.
Yeah.
You know?
There's so many. There's a lot of them, and all of them are top tier, crazy badasses.
It's amazing, honestly. But I think Rana has solidified herself as not a main eventer.
Right.
But she is a solid mid-card winner.
Yes, and she can obviously have incredible singles matches in front of crowds this big.
Yeah.
It's not going to be long before she's on like a proper pay-per-view having a singles match for a title.
I want to see Rana in a proper program now.
Yes.
You know, she's graduated from this. You could see, I mean, they might have something left, but you can see that she can do the program.
Yeah.
And I just want to see her in something serious for some high stakes now. Like, let her show her fighting spirit.
Yes, I'd love to see her just get into a proper story.
Yeah.
And you can, aside from the wrestling, her storytelling ability with her facials and her just what she does in the ring otherwise is amazing.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm very happy for her. Very proud that she did it. She did it great. She really wowed in front of this crowd, I think.
She did.
Following that, we had a 6-man tag match. Fukigen Death, Ruaka, and Natsuka Tora took on Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori.
And because of our show and us putting universal little things out there that that take hold somehow.
Okay, so I gotta set this up, okay? We're watching Pro Wrestling Evolution a few nights before this show, and on that card, there was a tag match where Kaori Yoneyama tagged with Momoka Hanazono. And for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you know, Kaori Yoneyama is the face behind Fukigen Death.
Yes.
She still wrestles as her, under her given name in other places.
Everywhere else.
She's still very clown-like, but she's very bright and colorful and happy.
Right.
So we're watching Pro Wrestling Evo, and during this match, you had a thought.
Oh, yeah.
That thought was, you know, I'd love to see Kaori Yoneyama in Stardom as this, not as Fukigen Death.
Yeah, and not that it's a new thing, you know, but I would like to see her there again. And just because she wrestles.
Yeah.
And she's so damn good.
She is. She's a legend.
And so I was like,
amazing veteran.
I would love to see her have some matches as herself.
Yes.
And
And what do you know? A couple days later, after the show, they announced that Kaori Yoneyama will be on New Blood against Rion. Like, I was like, I sent it to you. I was like, you manifested this.
I would like to think that it's because I was making a joke to somebody the other day. When my phone updated, it gives you the options, right? Do you want the full AI with listening to everything you say and do? And this time I was like, you know what? The hell with conspiracy theories. I'm just putting yes on everything. I want it to actually just interface with my mind.
Right, so it just knows what I need immediately.
And my whole thought behind it is I'm going to turn everything on yes, because if I'm that open, they're not even going to be interested in listening.
It's like, he has nothing to hide.
This guy, because they're going to be come on. They're going to be listening to the guy that turns everything off.
Yeah.
Because you know they can. That's just for your own, like,
your own peace of mind.
Yeah, your own peace of mind. So I'm just like, yes. I even told my phone. I was like, phone, anything you want to hear, just do it. And it just make life easy for me. If I think about a wrestling figure I want to see the ad. And because I'm crazy.
Oh, no, now there's going to be a Big Bill wrestling figure.
There better be a Big Bill wrestling figure. Don't get me on Big Sexy.
So you think mentioning Kaori Yoneyama in Stardom has...
I do.
Through your phone has manifested
I think that the phone went to the AI gods in the sky.
And then somehow Okada got a hold of that thought.
Absolutely.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
We should have Kaori Yoneyama on.
That's how this works.
I agree completely. And on top of that, Fukigen Death was the one to get the win in this match for Hate. Hate was having a hell of a night in this Korakuen Hall.
They were, and we were getting, at that point, we're like, oh.
We're like, oh, this is weird.
This is weird, because I really got worried when Hate won 2 matches. And, you know, because Hate normally doesn't.
Yeah, they don't normally do gangbusters throughout the whole night.
No, and when they went to, I was like, there's no way she can't lose yet.
Yeah, there's no way that Saya's going to lose already.
Not yet.
But after that match, we had another 8-man where Kyoko Kotatsu, Tomoka Inaba, Saki Kashima, and Shiri took on Momo Kogo, Hanan, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani. And this was a really fun match. There was a cute moment where the Stars girls did Ida's chops and they all like posed like Ida because she was on vacation for this show, so she wasn't there. So they were all honoring her and Mayu Iwatani flexing in the ring. It was very funny.
It was awesome.
But it was really weird, very strange in this match that we didn't get any big Shiri Mayu moments, in my opinion.
I know, we've been noticing that though.
Especially because of the recent comments that have been made about Shiri and Sari both wanting more chances at the IWGP Women's World Championship, which Mayu has. So I was totally expecting some kind of interaction.
But I did get some Kyoko Kotatsu, so
yes, you did.
Absolutely happy with that.
The whole match was really fun. It was was kind of quick. It was not really a whole lot of fluff there. But after the match, after Shiri won the match with a nasty submission to Momokogo.
Dirty, evil, dirty woman.
Here comes Hate, led by Konami, who is back to attack Shiri. She clearly wants a do-over for the match that never happened.
You got your ass knocked out, girl.
Kyoko Kotatsu did come in the ring to attack Konami, very much like she came in the ring to save Shiri at that pay-per-view.
It was almost like somebody didn't smarten. This is why I love Kyoko so much. I'm not sure they've told her that it's a work.
She's just like in there throwing kicks at Konami, like,
because normally in Joshi, when there's a run-in, the runner-inner can just go, and a team will blow down.
Yeah, it's like it's their moment.
Yeah, because they're doing the run-in, so they're focused on one person, and if you are on the team and you're trying to come up, it's like your fists no longer work, and they're like, they push you, and you're like, and you just roll down. It's just a thing that we all accept, right?
Right.
Well, guess who doesn't accept it?
Kyoka.
Yeah.
She was just going at it.
Kyoka comes in there with Konami, and she's like, bitch. And she just
Get away from my leader.
boom. And I was like, oh my God.
Konami didn't have any of it, but it was still crazy
Konami
to
knows,
watch.
Konami knows sold it.
And I know they're going to do this match again. They have to have a proper Shiri versus Konami blow-off match.
Yeah, maybe not UWF this time.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
But maybe just do something different, like a proper wrestling match.
Ixnay on the kicksay.
But I am excited to see because the Shiri versus Sari match is in March at Sarism 6, I believe.
Right.
It's either 6 or 7.
Goddamn match.
They both have intentions on the IWGP, so I feel like whichever of them wins that match is going to end up facing Mayu at the huge All-Star Grand Queendom in April. I feel like that might be what's happening here.
Or we could have a three-way dance.
Ooh.
Talk about a big match.
Don't tempt me like that.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
A three-way between those three, they would absolutely behead each other.
It would be amazing, though, wouldn't it?
It would be amazing. I agree. Like, those three in particular could put on such a good three-way match that it would blow my entire mind.
It would feel special, because we don't get a lot of triple threats.
No, especially for titles.
Yeah.
It would be completely different to what we do. Maybe Shiri and Sari will have a draw, and then we just have to throw them both in there.
I mean, listen, man, after what we've seen with Sari and these ladies, I mean, running back Mayu Iwatani and Sari anytime.
Yeah.
I'm down
Absolutely.
with it. I don't know how many matches they could have and still have careers.
But it's been a while since their last one, so they'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I felt really bad about, not throwing that up as my match of the year.
It's hard. It's difficult because that match was so early in the year that it kind of gets buried under a bunch of...
It was so good.
It was an incredible match.
I mean, it was incredible, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, it really was. It
Absolutely
was so violent.
mind-blowing.
It was so violent and surprising to me, actually, because that was right before Sari debuted with Marigold. And I was pretty sure that they were going to protect her until then,
Right.
So that was a surprising ending to me. But what a damn match.
Such a good match. All right, back to Stardom Supreme Fight. In the semi-main event for the Artist of Stardom Championships, Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, and Starlight Kid took on Sariano, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. And above the Artist of Stardom Championships, above anything else that happens with these pairings, I am just so dead focused on Starlight Kid and Natsupoi. This story that they're building between these two is so interesting. Just not only the fact that Starlight completely destroyed Natsupoi's knee in this match to the point she was limping out of the area afterwards.
Right.
But the look on Natsupoi's face when Neo Genesis wins this match and takes the Artist of Stardom Championships, and Starlight Kid is standing over her wearing the Wonder of Stardom Championship and holding Natsupoi's Artist of Stardom Championship. Not just any one of the three, the one that Natsupoi wears.
And Natsupoi's looking at her like, you've taken everything from me.
Oh my God. It just does something to my brain. And the look on her face just says, you've betrayed me.
Yeah. And
we were team mutual love.
Yeah.
And I did everything for you when you were kicked out of Oedo Tai. I was your best friend.
You had nobody. Nobody wanted to be with you.
And now this.
Yeah.
Now you've taken all of everything I love.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah, but then you got to think, Starlet's done nothing wrong.
She hasn't. It's just been proper fun matches.
She's just won. So if there's an issue there, it's a green-eyed issue.
It is. It is.
But I'm all for it. I like me some green-eyed issues.
And I also love Azumi after the match. She's talking about how she's always wanted to hold belts with Miyu Amasaki and how her and Starlight have always ever been on opposing sides and now they get to hold belts together.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool moment to have these three with the artist belt and also the double champions with Miyu having the future belt and Starlight having the wonder belt. Neo Genesis is absolutely racked in cold right now. It's
basically Neo Genesis has taken Cosmic Angel's identity.
Yeah, they kind of have. They won the best unit league.
Yeah.
They are the top unit essentially right now. Even if Cosmic Angels won the award for it in 2024.
You got to think about it though, because the fans voted everything for Cosmic Angels.
Yeah.
You know, everything. They love Cosmic Angels.
Because Cosmic Angel is amazing, but they're kind of faltering now.
And I kind of love the fact that you put this babyface juggernaut up against him because, you know, if it's probably easier to boo the young girls.
Yeah, but can you imagine if Crazy Star wins the tag team titles and Neo Genesis is just running around with 4 out of the titles in Stardom?
Yes.
Yes. Starlight did mention, she mentioned after the match, like how she wants the artist to be reinvigorated and to have younger people start challenging for belts and not just have the same old people continuously challenging for these titles. And she wants to freshen everything up. So
I'm sure Nautsa Boy loved that too.
That's the goal for Starlight Kid is to just have fun.
Yeah. Put people over, man. Make stars.
Have a good time and like see what everyone's got in them. She's already giving Rena a Wonder of Stardom championship.
Well, look at how long she had to wait.
That's fair.
I mean, she's been through. She has been one of the most talented people on the roster for years.
She's kind of been a victim to these are the top people who can challenge for the belts. You're down here, you can't.
Right.
Sort of mentality.
She's had that Hiromu curse, really.
Yeah, she has.
And you know, Hiromu Takahashi, in my opinion, once you had like, you know, Kenny Omega, Okada. Honest to God, I think Hiromu Takahashi was right up there with those guys on talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only difference was maybe some height. But,
a few pounds.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that should matter.
No,
and I think when you can draw the crowd and if you can put butts in seats, you should be in the, and Starlight Kid could put butts in seats.
Yeah.
So I really am excited about everything she's doing and what she will be giving to the younger talent.
Me too. So I'm definitely looking forward to see who challenges them first for the artist belts following this.
Me too.
But that brings us to our main event of the evening. For the World of Stardom Championship, Suzu Suzuki versus Saya Kamitani. And this match was just brutal.
It was.
They were not pulling punches.
This match exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. It was insane.
It was a great match.
They got in there and just immediately start throwing forearms at each other that are so loud and solid. There was this moment where Saya's in the ring in a chair and Suzu's on the outside of the ring in a chair and they're just yelling at each other like, you come here. No, you come here.
Yeah.
It was such a visual, this whole match.
I love the one thing you have in your notes. Nasty Poison Ranas.
God, those Poison Ranas at the end of the match.
They were... Nasty's a good way of putting it.
Ugh.
Murderous would come to mind.
They did like 3, I think, back and forth. And each one was worse than the last.
Yeah, and those stupid headbutts.
God, you just don't need them, dude.
We don't need headbutts.
The sound they make is awful. You can tell it messes up the people taking them because you're clunking your skulls together. And it's never going to be a good outcome when you do that.
No.
I know it's for shock value, but there are so many other things you can do.
Oh, no, Suzu. No. No. We don't need shock value in Suzu. We know what happens with that.
I mean, get Suzu up there to do a Sky Twister press or something.
Yes.
Don't throw headbutts, please. Your beautiful craniums don't need that.
Yes.
We want you in the business for a long time. We don't want you getting concussions.
But other than that, Dave Meltzer, it was amazing.
It was an incredible match. Incredibly hard-hitting. It really showed what Saya can do as a champion, and also why Suzu Suzuki continues to get these opportunities, because she always delivers when she's in this position.
She does.
But Saya Kamitani is a difficult foe to overcome, and she was able to put Suzu away with the Star Crusher to win this match.
I think she solidified in front of this sold-out crowd in the hallowed halls of Korakuen Hall with the Japanese Joshi crowd back once again, loving the product and loving seeing these women go out there. You were just expecting a Zinjo, chant to break out at any time.
The crowd was hot. This show anyway.
This was one of those throwback moments that really proved that wrestling is her. And it was wonderful. It was just every reason that I love pro wrestling. And love pro wrestling in Japan, love Joshi so much, most of all, was just having these crowd there and hot as could be and giving everything. But what really got me was Saya Kamitani owning it.
Yeah. She proved that she's here. It's like vindication, right?
Yeah.
Because she finally took down that last boss of the people who kind of benefited from her injury.
Right.
So she's finally conquered Suzu Suzuki, and she can call herself a true champion.
No matter what she says, no matter what kind of stuff she puts out there to the fans and to the, I am really happy for her.
Yeah.
And I really, honest to God, I have to say, not everybody can go and prove themselves with the belt.
Yeah.
And early on, it looks as if we might have
quite a run on our hands.
Incredible run on our hands.
I'm elated for her. She's completely reinvented herself this past year, and her work in the ring doesn't suffer from the craziness that she puts on. The craziness actually adds to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it makes sense why she throws herself chaotically around now, because she's absolutely lost her mind, and she just portrays it so well. And I love to see how she weaves it into the match.
She is special.
But speaking of weaving things together, there were a few layers of things that happened following this match.
Do tell.
Starting with Suzu telling Saya that after their match in Korakuen Hall, she has seen what she really wants to do, which she thanked Saya Kamitani for. She was very serious when saying this. Like, she went from her normal Suzu yelling about Saya's feet stinking to just nice, even talking, saying thank you. She left. And then backstage, she said, I realized something today, something that has become a certainty today. I'm grateful that you made me realize it, Saya-sama. So, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
Whatever Suzu is going to do next.
I'm hoping she realized that she's a heel.
She's ready to join hate now.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it for a while now.
It is cool. Like,
it just seems like a damn necessity.
Yeah, it's like a shoo-in. She could easily slot into hate.
She's just made for it.
Yeah.
I would trade her and Rena.
Just switch them out.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the craziest thing that happened after this match
was very crazy.
Of course, was Tam Nakano coming to the ring. She wants a rematch for the World of Stardom Championship. And Saya, of course, is like laughing at her. She's like, are you dumb? You just lost and I beat you already and you don't even deserve another match against me. But she had a suggestion, Saya did, which I think we all saw coming.
Yes, we did.
She suggested that on February 24th, they should have a tag team match. It'll be Saya and the partner for choosing against Tam Nakano and Sayaka Kurara. And if Tam wins that match, she can be the #1 contender to the World of Stardom Championship. Easy peasy. However, if Tam and Sayaka lose that match, Saya gets Sayaka.
Yes.
That's it. That's the whole stipulation.
And, Saya Kamitani went on to mention the fact that Sayaka Carrara said that, she got into wrestling because of Saya Kamatani.
Right.
And that she's a huge fan of hers.
It's a very thin line.
And that she obviously wants to be with her.
Yeah.
So it's very strange.
Sayaka, when she got in the ring, did hit Saya with the Tokimeki spear.
She did.
Very hard. She then asked Tam, Tam didn't want to do this, but Sayaka said, we can do this. Can you please trust me? Is what she asked of her. And Tam was like, of course I trust you. And that right there is almost going to make it more devastating if she cannot trust Sayaka. If it's Sayaka's choice to turn on Tam, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be horrible. It's going to break Tam into pieces. And I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I want them to lose and Sayaka gets taken away. I don't know if I want Sayaka to betray Tam. I don't know if I want them to win.
I don't know if I can take another Oedo Tai Starlight Kid thing. Mm-hmm. That tore me alive.
Yeah.
Like when Starlight was basically being kidnapped.
Yeah.
And
crying.
Yeah, and crying and didn't want to leave. And then
so you would prefer if Sayaka wanted to go?
I would almost prefer.
It's hard to say.
I'm going to get emotional either way.
Like, compared though, between being kidnapped and going on your own accord and betraying your friend, you would prefer the betrayal.
Tam is at her best when both her legs are broke. She's tied to the train track.
Right.
And it's coming and no one can stop the train.
Okay, yes, she is. I agree.
That's when Tam is at her best. So I think that it makes Tam interesting. Mm-hmm. I think that it makes the whole thing interesting. I like that a lot better than me going, oh my God, and like completely crumbling inside like I did when Starlight Kid was stolen. Oh,
there's always the chance that Tam and Sayaka win this match and Tam just gets another title shot. But that doesn't seem like where the story's heading, okay?
What if Saya Kamatani's partner is Suzu Suzuki and we get like a double night?
A double hate edition?
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Star. No, it would be wild, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I doubt it's going to happen, but...
I don't know who Saya's going to pick. I assume someone quite strong.
I would hope she picked Momo.
Probably.
I mean...
Or Natsukatora. Someone that's going to help her win the match.
Yeah, it could be Natsukatora. That's a good pick.
But I'm going to be so sad. Like, I love Tam and Sayaka together. I love sweet little Sayaka with her face and her twirling around.
Saya Kamatani mentioned some other stuff that we mentioned last summer. When she was talking about that, though, she said Tam would kiss you. Mm-hmm. And you didn't want it. like she mentioned the stuff that we noticed.
Yeah, she's just playing mind games.
So, I mean, Carrara never kissed her back. She was always kind of weird about it. She
would never kiss her. She'd kiss her hand and then touch her face.
She's like, okay, that's nice.
It's gonna happen, okay? Sayaka's going to hate. I can't see a way around it.
I'm so excited about it.
We have to wait till the end of the month.
I'm so excited to see her, and I hope she wears the same new gear, but it's black with white trim.
She's gonna be full Minami Toyota at that point.
Dude.
Oh, okay. That was Stardom Supreme Fight. Listen, this whole night was insane, and it's hard to pick 3 moments, but I think there's some clear moments that happened, obviously, in this match. I think, let's see, what would my number 3 moment be of this night? Maybe, okay, I didn't come prepared. Konami's return.
Okay.
To the ring.
All right.
It was a nice moment. And Kyoka, standing up for Shiri at the same time.
Kyoka is one of my moments.
Yeah, she deserves a moment all her own,
regardless.
Right? The number 2 moment would have to be Rana doing the Kuma dance.
Yes,
right?
That's my top moment.
I want to put it at number 1, but I feel bad because of the Tam thing.
The Tam thing's very interesting, but I came here for the bear dance.
I agree. Rana Yagami doing the bear has to be number 1 for the week.
I mean, come on.
Tam gets number 2, and Konami's return gets number 3 for Stardom Supreme Fight.
We did the song, for love of God.
We did. I was so pumped for that match. But we have some fun stuff coming up in just a few days on February 5th. New Blood 18 takes place in Itabashi, and we have the full card for that. Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama will be taking on Yuria Hime and Akira Kuragane.
Teaming up.
which is cool because, I mean, Hanako and Waka are the New Blood Tag Team Champions. This is not a title match, but it's still kind of a cool shot for the young girls.
They're going to get their asses kicked.
Face the champions. Rion versus Kaori Yoneyama, which we're all very excited about. Kyoko Kotatsu, Tomoka Inaba, and Hina teaming up to take on the Wave team of Saran, Hanoka, and Kohaku.
I'm very excited about this one.
Yes, all the scary God's Eye girls versus the fun... Well, Kohaku's kind of scary, actually, too.
yeah, it's going to be great, though.
Azusa Inaba and Rina versus Mizuki Kato and Yuma Makoto from Diana.
That's a damn good match.
Damn good match. And Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuna Mizumori versus Nanami, Himiko, and Rana Yagami.
What a match.
Which is really fun.
This is like our kind of card, man. This
I
is
know,
like,
I love New
because
Blood.
we love, like, we watch so much of the indies, and it's just like, this is so cool.
And that will be live on Stardom's YouTube channel, so anyone can watch it. If you want to see a New Blood, it's really good fun if you've never seen a New Blood before, and you get to see people you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And February is going to be, the rest of the month is going to be pretty fun. We have a Mayu Iwatani homecoming show later in the month. And then on February 24th, we have Stardom Path of Thunder 2025 in the Stardom Sisters' hometown, which is where Rina will get her title match against Starlight Kid. So that's going to be a great pay-per-view. They're already building all kinds of stuff. Obviously, that tag match with Sayaka and Tam will be on there as well. So... some good stuff coming up this month.
It's going to be so nuts, man. We're going to be messed up on that tag match.
I know. And you got to imagine from this into the Cinderella tournament in March, and then in April you've got All-Star Grand Queendom. So it's just
I'm
nonstop.
so excited for Cinderella this time because if we go young again...
Oh, I love the way they did it last year.
Dude, there's so many now.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Can you imagine like Rana Yagami Cinderella tournament winner?
Yeah, but singles matches with like Rana and Inaba and you know, like just the whole freaking House of Anubis. And it's just, I'm excited.
Me too. I love the tournaments, and I'm very much looking forward to the Cinderella tournament. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials at Wrestling Is Her. And if you want to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling Is Her,
we're building it up, pal.
We have one piece of content on there already, our watch along of Akira Hakuto versus...
But we have a shitload that we are working on.
Oh yeah, we're in the planning stages. I've got all the stuff done for our watch of Royal Rumble 92, where I give my first impressions of that show. And we're also planning another really fun kind of breakdown review sort of thing of... actually something Big Egg Wrestling Universe related. So
yeah, very cool.
That'll be fun. So keep an eye out for that. We will post about it on socials when it happens. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wrestling Is Her and leave us a comment and tell us what you thought about Stardom Supreme Fight and what you think is going to go on.
Or let us know some cool information that we missed or didn't know, which has been happening as well. And I appreciate it.
We love it when you fill in our knowledge gaps.
Yeah.
Like, we want to know everything. So if we miss something, tell us. We will not be offended. We will thank you for it.
Especially if it has anything to do with Kyoka.
Yes. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for listening to Wrestling Is Her. I'm Raja. He's John. See you next time on Wrestling Is Her. Bye.